Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from PixieCrafter.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you are looking for a demonstrator, I would love for you to choose me. You can shop my online store 24/7. The link is in the description bar below, or you can head on over to PixieCrafter.com. If you need to get in touch with me with any questions that you may have, on my home screen towards the bottom of the page there is a Get in Touch with Me form, and that really is probably the best way to send me any questions that you have. If there are any current Stampin' Up! Products you would like to see me demonstrate, go ahead and leave that in the comment section here on YouTube. Okay, I have a new series for you guys. I have decided that I want to start reducing some of my debt. It's something that probably most of us have, and I'm tired of mine weighing over my head. And that inspired me to really look at my craft supplies and what I'm ordering and try to get the most bang for my buck and then share it with you guys. So here are some of my tips and tricks, and we are going to be making some cards. So, alright, best ways to spend your money. You know I'm a big fan of making my own background paper, especially since I like the designer series paper that they have in the new catalog, but I kind of feel like there's gaps in it, in my crafting. So there's certain occasions and things that I'm wanting that they don't have right now. So I'm going to have to make my own. But that's okay, because they have a huge variety of stamps. Now, in order to make your background paper, you need an actual paper to start with. And I really do enjoy the Whisper White from Stampin' Up! It is a nice smooth paper. It is meant to give you crisp, wonderful results with stamping, which means that it's going to be pretty fantastic for just about anything that you're going to put on this, as long as it's not too wet like a watercolor. Then you definitely need a watercolor type paper for that. But any of like your illustrations or all of that stuff, this is a fantastic paper to work with. You get 40 sheets of it for $9 in a pack, and that's pretty good. If you cut this into fours, you get 4 card fronts for a standard A2 size card. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck if you're card making. If, you know, whatever you would use an 8.5 by 11 sheet for. So we've got that. If you are also making a lot of cards, I do recommend the thick Whisper White cardstock. It is just a little bit thicker. You get 24 sheets for $7, and you can get 2 standard A2 size cards out of each sheet. We also have both of these in very vanilla, but if you're really trying to cinch your budget tight, just get the Whisper White and you'll be fine. Alright, other ways to save your money: get the Stampin' Right markers. Alright, and the in colors. There's only 5 in colors, so the sets that you get are going to be less expensive than like your Brights, your Subtles, your Regals collections, because those have, I want to say, maybe 10 colors in each. So for the set of Stampin' Right markers, and we always have 2 sets of in colors. The 2 annual catalog releases. So these are the 2017 to 2019. This complete set is going to run you $15. You can also get the 2016 to 2018 with Flirty Flamingo and Dapper Denim and Peekaboo Peach, Emerald Envy and Sweet Sugar Plum, also for $15. These you can write with, you can color with them, you can even color on your stamps and use them for stamping. So if you're really on a limited budget, the Stampin' Right markers, very versatile, you can do a lot with. While we're talking about Stampin' Right markers, the basic black is pretty awesome. You can use it for your journaling and your scrapbooking. They do come with a brush tip and a fine tip to them. You can get the basic black singly for $3.50. So good basic black marker pen to have. Alright, along with the getting sets of stamp pads, we've got the In Colors stamp pad collection. So again, it's only 5 colors. You can get it in the 2017 to 2018 set, which is what this one is. Powder Pink, Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, Tranquil Tide, and Fresh Fig. I am loving this set, but I love all the in colors. Or you can get it in the 2016 to 2018. So you get 5 of our Stampin' Pads for $27.50. Not bad for 5 pads. And then you have lots of fun colors, and these colors, I feel with the in colors you get a good variety of colors, like something from, you know, everything pretty much. And yeah, it's not just like here's all your reds and here's all your purples. You get a nice variety of them, and they are meant to coordinate together and go together, so that's always nice. Then for, you know, your basic sentiment stamping, the archival basic black, this is a good one to have. It's going to be $7. There are refills for it for $5.50. So once you get the initial stamping pad for any of the stamping pads, you can get the refills. And then there's lots of things that you can do with the refills too, other than just re-ink your stamp pads. Alright, next up, the liquid glue, the Tombow liquid glue. I think this is probably our most versatile adhesive. There is a pen tip and a broad tip, so it's nice to have that sort of selection. I do feel like it's a lot more economical than the snail adhesive. It is a liquid glue, so there is some dry time, though I don't feel it's that long of a dry time. It doesn't really slow me down too much when I'm crafting. If you adhere this while it's wet, it's going to be a permanent bond. If you apply it, let it dry, and then stick it on, it's repositionable. So it's nice to have that option for whatever you may have. This is $4. By the way, all these prices are US, because I can only sell to the US. So keep that in mind. But yeah, good thing to have. And then for your stamp sets, I love background stamps, especially if you're going to be making a lot of cards, or even like doing bits and pieces for your scrapbook layouts. If you're a pocket scrapbooker, much like a Project Life or New Memories and More, these will work in those. Or, you know, card making. This fits a standard A2 size card front. Lots of different things you can do with your background stamps. You can use different colors, different techniques to ink them up, and get so many different backgrounds. It doesn't feel like you're using the same background on every single card, because you can switch up the colors and how you're actually stamping it. And then there's just your stamp pads. Oh, these clear mount ones are $15 from Stampin' Up, and this is the marbled one. It's one of the new ones, and I'm loving it. I do prefer the clear mount or the photopolymer over the wood mount, but for background stamp, wood mount would be pretty awesome to have. And then I picked out Papa Paradise. This is, you know, get the stamp sets that you love, because if you love them, you're going to use them, and it's going to be worth it. This was one of the first stamp sets I got. I love the flamingo. I grew up in Florida, so it's close to my heart. So we're going to be using the flamingo and the hello. Getting punches, that's another good way. I just went ahead, you know, I'm a big fan of the Big Shot, but it is a big investment. So if you're just starting out, you can start by just getting punches. So the punch that you're going to need, actually you're going to need two, the 2 1/4 and the 1 1/4. The 2 1/4 is going to cost you $18. The 1 1/4 is going to cost you $16. I don't have the punches, like I said, because I just jumped in because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of die cutting and punching and all that, so I just got the Big Shot. So I'm actually using my layering circles in those punch sizes today, but you don't have to do this. I find in the long run the Big Shot is more economical for me, because I do a lot of card making and having all the layering circles and being able to get the bundled set of stamps and dies. It's better for me. And last but not least, you're going to need a paper trimmer. I've tried out a lot of paper trimmers in my time, and the Stampin' Up Stampin' Trimmer is absolutely my favorite. It's sometimes you do need like a guillotine style, but that's only if you're doing a lot of mass production. This is a fantastic all-purpose, everyday crafting, paper trimming sort of trimmer. You get your score blade, your cutting blades, and I like, you can cut everything that you need for a card without having to pop out the arm. As long as you're not doing like a fancy like trifold card or step card. But even then, you can pop this out, and this actually goes up to 14.5 inches, not just the 12. So that is very nice. I love that. It's nice and sturdy. I love the constant grid on it. It's pretty awesome. If you flip it over here, there is this compartment here that pops open, and you can store extra stuff. So if you're going to take this to a crop or crafting at a friend's house, it's very nice that you can just go ahead, pop stuff in here, and you're done. If you have a limited craft space, then it's also great to be able to store things in your trimmer as well. And a bone folder. I do believe a bone folder, a good bone folder. Oh, the Stampin' Trimmer, by the way, is $30. It is a little bit pricier, but it's good quality. The only thing you're going to have to replace on it are the blades. All right, a good bone folder, very important to have if you're doing any sort of paper folding. I love the Stampin' Up one. It is $7, and it's got some weight to it. And I do find like that extra weight, it does make a difference. My lines are definitely a lot more crisper. Oh, all right. Enough of all that. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of that explanation, everything. Let's get to making our card. I'm getting a shadow. Oh, the shadows from I've got my Stampin' pads all piled up. That'll do it. All right, so let's start off by taking our thick, very vanilla, or no, Whisper White cardstock. Now I go ahead and I'll get 2 cards ready at once. So I'm actually going to flip this over. I'm just going to make a standard A2 card. Actually 2 standard A2 cards. So I'm going to line this up on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. I'm going to take my score tool, and I'm just going to score that up. With the thick cardstock, you definitely want to do this. It will make a world of difference. And now I've got the 11-inch side, and I'm going to line it up at 5.5, and I'm going to go ahead and make a cut. And there we have 2 card bases scored, ready to go. Just have to fold them over, give them a nice crease with the bone folder, and you're done with that. Now let's go ahead and get our regular cardstock piece, the 8.5 by 11. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this into 4 at 4 1/4. And then we're going to flip it over and do 5.5. And that will give us 4 card fronts, or a very nice piece where you can start to do pieces that you're going to cut out. All right, quick and easy. So much fun. All right, let us go ahead. All right, let's do 2 cards. So I'm going to bring out 2 of those card fronts here. If you are cleaning off your stamps, I do adore the Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist. You don't have to use this. You can just use baby wipes. I do a lot of stamping, so it's worth it for me to have it. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray the wet side of my Stampin' Mist, Stampin' Scrub, and have that all set to go. Now with these background stamps, you don't have to necessarily mount them on anything. They're big enough where you're going to lay them down and you're going to ink them up, and then you're going to bring your paper to the ink and do it that way, or to the stamp and do it that way. But I use my Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub, so I want to be able to flip it over. So I have the big guy from the stamp sets, the Stampin' Up stamp sets. I went ahead and got all of the acrylic blocks because I do prefer the clear mount and the photopolymer stamp sets, so it's worth it for me to invest that money. All right, let us do some Tranquil Tide. Now I'm just going to go ahead, take the ink pad, and pop it right on. Get this nice and inked up, and we're just going to get a wonderful, wonderful stamped image. And this is the most basic way for you to use your background stamps. There we go. Good and inked up, right? And now I'm going to have a scrap piece of paper so that I don't get my hands too inky. Alright, I'm going to set that on. I'm going to set my scrap paper on top, and I'm just going to rub across the top. And this is going to give a nice, wonderful stamped image. Flip that over and take this off. And there we go. We have our gorgeous marbled background. So nice, so pretty. Now see, this is why I like having it on the block, because I need to take it over and I need to scrub it. And this is so much easier to do with the block. Get it nice and clean. You're going to go do that because it's such a big stamp. Alright, so you could do a different color background for all of your stamp sets. I'm going to show you a bit more of an advanced step just to show you how you can get more use out of your background stamp. So I've got a sponge brayer. These are fairly inexpensive. Nothing, too special. And I'm going to do a nice little ombre with some powder pink and the Berry Burst. So what you're going to do is just going to ink up your rubber brayer, and then you're just going to brayer it over. It's going to be very hard to see this powder pink because it's a red rubber stamp, but I promise it's going on. It's going on. I can see the little bit of shimmery shine. And I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit further than I think, because this is my lighter color and I want a nice little blend. Alright, now I'm just going to clean this off just by running it over. And you can see that there was some of that ink still on there. And now we're going to take our Berry Burst, and I want to do this kind of fast because I don't want my ink to dry up too much. And I'm just going to come in like so. And I'm just doing a little light pressure in the middle. Look at all that. Imagine all the fun that you can have just with the rubber brayer and all the different background colors that you can use that way. Alright, now I'm going to give a good huff on this. Use the moisture in my breath to reactivate everything. And there we go. Just soft, subtle little variation. If I wasn't doing this on camera, I probably would have taken just a little bit more time to make sure that was good and blended. But it's no bad. It's no bad. Alright, so since I had mentioned the Stampin' Up markers earlier, let me show you how you can use the Stampin' Up markers on your background stamps to get a fun effect as well. So you're going to take your brush tip and you're just going to start to color in areas. Alright, now I'm just going to take a little bit of water. I'm going to move it away so I'm not misting up everything. Alright, so I just gave that a light mist of water. Now this is going to give you a little bit more of a watercolor feel. You just got grab a scrap piece. Alright, so I'm just going to show you on the back of this how this would go. Alright, so you can see you can get a nice little stamped image that way. You could absolutely just color this up with one color instead of having the Stampin' pads and have fun that way. Oh, that's your choice, but you can use these to ink up your stamps, all of them, and it's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now that we've got our background all ready, let us go ahead and start stamping these guys. Alright, now with this, you can absolutely go ahead and color it in with the Stampin' markers. In fact, I think I'll do that for the first one. So I want this guy to be mostly powder pink. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go all over it. Now, not all of him is going to be able to fit within that circle, but I want to make sure that I am coloring up enough that a good deal of him will be in the circle. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to him with the Berry Burst. And then I'm going to use my basic black to color in the beak, the above, and the legs. There we go. I'm going to give it a good huff. And we'll stamp this guy down here, keeping in mind that we will be punching him out, or in my case, die cutting him out. There we go. Got a nice little kind of watercolory effect for Jacques. He looks like a Jacques, doesn't he? Alright, and now let's go ahead and do it this way. So I've got my powder pink pad here, ink up Jacques 2. And now I'm going to go ahead and take that basic black and get it in certain areas. There we go. And now I'm going to take another piece because I'm not quite sure how all of that's going to cut out. We've got, your more basic stamping with your stamp pads. Alright, so there's that. And then you have your choice. What color to stamp the hello? Now, I like a little black in just about everything. So I'm going to do one in black, and I think the one that I did with the ink pad here, I will aim for this guy to have the black hello. There we go. And now you can see what the basic black archival can do. It is an archival ink, so that's good. It's not going to fade or anything. Now this one, let's see, I think I'm going to do a actual color. So let's actually go with Lemon Lime Twist. This is also kind of showing you how you can change things up just by changing the color. There we go. And now it's time to go ahead and do your punching. If you have your punches, I'm going to die cut these and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my pieces cut out here, or punched out, died out, whatever you're going to do. And I've cut a few other pieces. So I've got 2 Whisper White squares that are 3 by 3, and I've got 2 strips that are each 3 by 1. Now I want to color these. So you can use your ink pads to go ahead and color them up, or if you have the Stampin' Right markers, you can use those too. So I want Lemon Lime Twist for one of these. I know that. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Right, and I'm going to give this a quick color. There we go. We have made our own cardstock colors. Now it's time to start assembling all these, but there's a few more details that we can add before we start doing that. I'm going to take these little circles and I'm actually just going to do some little dashes around the edges with my basic black Stampin' Write marker. If you have a Big Shot and you have the stitched shapes framelits, you could have cut these out with those, and you could skip this step. You'd already have that extra little stitched detail in it. But if you're budget conscious and you're not wanting to invest in a Big Shot just yet, then this is a good way to add some detail to it without breaking the bank. Alright, we've got some stitching around each of those, and now I'm going to take our little cardstock pieces. They've had a chance to dry up a little bit, and I'm just going to run a black line just around the edges of these. You'd be amazed what a nice little detail this gives. I'm not worried too much about it being super straight, but if that is a concern of yours, you can absolutely use some sort of straight edge or a ruler to get a nice straight line. I like having it have that more artistic feel to it, so I don't mind a bit of a wonky, janky line. I am cool with it. Alright, also been touching a lot of ink stuff, so I'm going to kind of make sure my hands don't have ink on them. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing with our Whisper White squares. Alright, we've got everything lined up. If you wanted to, you could absolutely go ahead and do an outline on your background pieces. I have cut these down to 4 by 5 1/4, so we're going to see a little bit of the Whisper White card base around the edges. So that is pretty awesome. Now let's start to assemble everything. We've got all of our pieces, so let's get out our liquid glue. Now, one of the reasons why I like the acrylic blocks, not only to stamp with, but they make great weights for when you are gluing things with liquid glue. I don't have a whole lot of patience to sit there and hold things, and I tend to do a lot of cards and stuff at the same time, kind of like a assembly line. So I want to be able to just kind of pop this guy on, put the block over it and set it aside, and then continue work on the other ones. And this is a pretty quick drying glue, so you don't have to, sit here for 20 minutes waiting for it to dry. So that's kind of nice. You can usually bounce back and forth between a few cards, couple of cards, and be okay. So I will switch those out. There we go. Let's get these attached. I'm just going to pop those right in the middle. We're going to take the square here and we're going to pop it down. If you have some dimensionals, you can absolutely use those. Those are, I believe, $4 each for each pack, and you do get, I want to say, for the regular size, they're 300 Stampin' Dimensionals to a pack. I'm not sure about, we've got new mini ones too. So I imagine those you might get, I don't know, 600 maybe? I don't know. I haven't looked at it too much. Alright, now let's go ahead and take our little guys here. Gonna offset my circle just a little bit. there we go. We've got our 2 cards. They came together fairly easily with a minimal amount of supplies. Actually more economical. You can absolutely buy your ink pads in single versions. So if you don't think that you like all the colors or you want to, make your own set, that you could go ahead and do it that way. The Stampin' Up markers, you do have to buy them in sets. The only one that's sold individually is the basic black. In some of the holiday and occasions catalogs, there might be a duo of Stampin' Up markers, but you can get them in each of the color families, or you can get the big box, the mini Marvelous markers. If you think you're going to use them a lot, I use these in my planning, my bujo, my bullet journal, and all of that, and my, everything. Coloring, it's fun to color. Coloring is good. Alright, so here we go. We have our completed cards. Let me set these up so that they're all pretty for you. You can get a good look. So here we go. 2 quick, pretty much all occasion cards, whatever you need to write on the inside for the sentiment. Just a good hello. And yeah, so that is it for today's video. I'm very happy with how these turns out. I love this marble background stamp. I can't wait to play with it more, and I'm very happy with how these turned out. I do feel like anyone can put these cards together. How would you amp these up? You could take some of the sequins or the our new glitter dots. You can add these on. This is another economical way to kind of pop it up to the next level, or you can get our sequins and adhere these individually. These are our new iridescent sequins, and they are gorgeous. Yeah, and go ahead and pop those on if you want. You can keep them as is, up to you. Remember, you could do the dimensionals to pop them up a little bit more. And I've talked a lot during this video, so I'm going to go ahead and end things. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments. If you have any budget-friendly crafting tips to share, go ahead, let us know. Share them with us. We want to know. I would love to know. For a full list of the products I used, you can find that in the description bar, along with a link to my website. Remember, you can shop my online store 24/7. While you're over visiting my website, you can sign up for my newsletter. I send it out monthly around the beginning of the month. You can also sign up for my birthday club if you are a resident of the United States. I will send you a handmade birthday card from me in the month of your birthday as a show of appreciation for supporting my small business. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Those links are in the description bar below. And remember, for anything Pixie Crafter, just head on over to pixiecrafter.com. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!